I've done a lot of content about Bentonville, and most of it's been genuinely positive because most of it's genuinely true. It's got world-class trails, Crystal Bridges Museum, and the Wal-Mart home office brought in 15,000 professionals. It's got a downtown that looks like someone put an Instagram filter on a city and forgot to take it off. It's all real and all accurate. But I've been leaving some things out, not intentionally, or at least not maliciously. But looking back at what I've said versus what I tell clients privately when they ask me to be straight with them, there's a gap. And if you're a family seriously thinking about moving to Bentonville, you deserve the full picture. So here it is. I'm Eric Eby, executive broker with the Nationally NWA home team at Collier and Associates. I've been licensed for over 10 years and I've helped over 300 families buy and sell across Northwest Arkansas, and I genuinely love this region. I want to be clear about something before we get into this. This is not a hit piece on Bentonville. I sell a lot of homes there. I send clients there all the time. It's a great city, but the reason people trust me, the reason they're calling me from Denver or Dallas or San Diego and say, just tell me the truth, is because I don't just tell them what they want to hear. So that's what this is. It's the truth about Bentonville, with the rough edges included. There's four things, four trade-offs that are real, that matter for families, and that I don't talk about enough. And at the end, because I'm not trying to talk you out of Bentonville, I'll tell you exactly who this city is still the right call for. Because it absolutely is the right call for a lot of families, just not every family. So let's go. Let's start with the one that surprises people most after they've already moved in. Bentonville has a traffic problem, and it's getting worse. Highway 102, which runs east and west through the heart of Bentonville, it's the main artery connecting a lot of the new residential development to the rest of the city, and at peak times it really backs up. Not LA backed up, not Dallas backed up, but for a city this size, it's noticeable. And if you're commuting across that corridor twice a day, you're going to feel it. The other pressure point is the intersection of Highway 102 and I-49. If you're heading south towards Fayetteville or Rogers, that interchange at rush hour is a legitimate frustration. Here's the honest context. Bentonville is growing faster than its road infrastructure is keeping up with. The Wal-Mart home office bringing in 15,000 employees to one campus did not make this easier. And the development that's been approved in the northwest part of the city is going to add more pressure before it gets better. The city knows this. There are infrastructure projects in the pipeline, but in the pipeline and fixed are two different things. So what does this mean practically? It means where you buy within Bentonville matters a lot. If you're west of I-49, your commute dynamic is different than if you're east. I always walk relocation clients through this before they start shopping because a 10-minute difference in location can mean a 25-minute difference in your morning. Okay, here's the one that genuinely catches people off guard, even people who've done their research. Here's something I don't say loudly enough about Bentonville, and it specifically affects family shopping with a budget under $500,000. Bentonville will fight you. Now, if you're asking whether Bentonville is more expensive than Rogers or Fayetteville at the median price point, the honest answer is not really. Current active listings across all three cities in the 2,500 to 3,000 square foot range are sitting within about $15,000 of each other at the median. That's not a meaningful gap. But here's where the story changes. At the bottom of the market, the 400 to 500,000 range, the inventory picture is very different depending on which city you're targeting. In Fayetteville right now, the floor for this size home is around $375,000. In Rogers, you can find options starting around $400,000. In Bentonville, the floor is closer to $470,000. And there isn't much between there and $550,000. That $94,000 difference between Fayetteville's floor and Bentonville's floor is real. And for a family whose budget tops out at $475,000 to $490,000, it's the difference between having options in Bentonville and having almost none. Why does this happen? Because the Wal-Mart supplier ecosystem means a constant flow of corporate relocations with relocation packages. That demand keeps a floor under Bentonville inventory that the other cities don't have in the same way. It's great for the local economy, but it compresses the entry-level options. Here's the thing I always tell clients in this situation. Bentonville's amenities like the trails, Crystal Bridges, downtown, those are not exclusive to Bentonville residents. You can live in Rogers or Fayetteville and be 10 to 15 minutes away and access all of it. Some families are paying a significant premium just to have a Bentonville address. That premium is worth it for some people. For others, that same money buys a meaningfully better house somewhere else in Northwest Arkansas with identical access to everything Bentonville offers. That's a conversation worth having before you start shopping. Okay, the third one, and this one is specifically for families who are picturing wide open spaces. Bentonville has some gorgeous neighborhoods. I want to be clear about that. But for a lot of newer development, especially in the northwest and northeast quadrants, where the price points are more accessible, it's denser than people expect. Smaller homes, homes that are closer together, and subdivisions where the houses are well built, but the yards are not what you'd picture if you're coming from a suburb with a half-acre lots. This is not unique to Bentonville, it's a national development trend. But it's worth naming because I've had clients move into a new Bentonville subdivision expecting room and then call me 6 months later saying the backyard isn't working for their family. The older, more established Bentonville neighborhoods that are closer to downtown tend to have more character and a little bit more space. But they also tend to have higher price points and a more competitive market. You're often choosing between price, lot size, and location within the city. You rarely get all three. Okay, last one. And this one's a little hard to quantify, but it's real. I said earlier that Bentonville looks like someone put an Instagram filter on a city and forgot to take it off. I meant that as a compliment, and it is, mostly. But here's the other side of it. Bentonville is polished, very polished. The downtown is manicured. The development is planned. Everything is very intentional and very on brand. And for a lot of people, especially people coming from coastal cities who want that aesthetic, it's exactly what they're looking for. But some families, and I see this more than you think, get there and find that it's a little sterile, a little too curated. They want Northwest Arkansas's character and got NWA's Pinterest board instead. If that sounds like it might be you, if you want a city that feels a little more lived in, a little scrappier maybe, with more local grit and less planned development, Fayetteville's probably your city. It's got the Razorback culture, the art scene, the university energy, and the older neighborhoods with actual trees and character. It's the city that doesn't look like it's trying as hard. And for some families, that's exactly what home feels like. I love both cities, but they are genuinely different. And knowing which one fits your personality before you buy is the kind of thing that determines whether you're happy in 5 years. Okay, so who is Bentonville actually right for? Honestly, a lot of people. If you're relocating for a Wal-Mart adjacent career and your employer is covering part of the move, Bentonville makes obvious sense. If walkability and downtown access matter more to you than yard size, Bentonville delivers that better than almost anywhere else in Northwest Arkansas. If the arts, the trails, and the culinary scene are your primary quality of life drivers, Bentonville has the highest concentration of all of it. And if you're in a family that wants a city that's genuinely investing in its future, the development happening here right now is the most ambitious in the region. Bentonville is not standing still. The trade-offs I mentioned are real, but they're manageable if you go in with eyes open, and if you had someone helping you navigate where specifically to buy within the city. That part matters more in Bentonville than almost anywhere else in Northwest Arkansas. All right, here's what we covered. Number one, the traffic on Highway 102 is real. Where you buy within Bentonville matters as much as the city itself. Number two, under $500,000, Bentonville's inventory nearly disappears. Fayetteville and Rogers have nearly $100,000 more runway at that entry level. Number three, newer developments are denser than people expect and lot sizes are tighter. And number four, Bentonville is polished and curated. For some families that's perfect, for others Fayetteville is the better fit. Here's the thing, I could keep making content that just tells you how great Northwest Arkansas is. And it is great. But the reason people call me, the reason they trust me with one of the biggest decisions of their lives is because I tell them what they actually need to know. This video is part of that. If you're weighing Bentonville against other parts of Northwest Arkansas or trying to figure out whether this is actually the right city for your family, that's exactly the kind of conversations I have every week. Just reach out, there's zero pressure. And if you found this useful, especially if it saved you from a decision you'd regret, please hit that subscribe button. I post several videos a month, all built for people making this move for real. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.